transfer to Manchester United now.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Italy Serie A games for the 25th to the 27th of October 2024. And you can see all the details for the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, alongside fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers.
So if you look in the description also of this podcast episode, you can find direct clickable links to all the matches we're about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware. Let's go with Udinese in 8th position, who take on Cagliari, who are down in 15th. It's on Friday, the 25th of October at 5:30 p.m. UK time, that is. And on footballpredictions.net, you can find your localized kickoff times, odds, TV channels, and streaming services, one of which is a Bet365, and they broadcast all of these live streamed, all the Serie A matches outside of Italy, of course. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. Give us the lowdown on these two teams, Moose.
Yeah, Udinese would probably have been quite happy with the start that they had to the season. However, must be a little bit concerned when you look at the last 4 matches, three defeats from the last 4 now. However, again, it has to be said they played Roma, Inter, and AC Milan, and then in between they beat Lecce. It also has to be said that we have called the outcome of Udinese's last 5 matches in a row now. That did include a home win against Salernitana in the Coppa Italia. But yeah, we've called the last 5 outcomes for Udinese. The last home game was a win against Lecce, which we said they were going to win that game. Previous to that, they did have a home defeat of 3-2 to Inter Milan. We said 3-1, but it ended 3-2. So yeah, very close on the correct score, but again, outcome and both teams to score in that one. Now, the most recent game was at the San Siro when they played AC Milan. They lost 1-0. Again, we said that they were going to struggle in that game and lose, and they did. So they lost 1-0, and we had the outcome. On Cagliari, like the opposite story. Off to a not so great start in the Serie A. They did start with 2 draws, but then they had 3 defeats in a row. Were staring down the barrel. However, the last 3 matches, they've picked up some really good points. Most recently, we had both teams to score against Torino, and that ended with both teams to score because Cagliari won that game 3-2. That was before that, they had a 1-1 draw at Juve. Cagliari, one of the only teams, if not the only team, in fact, the only team to have scored against Juve this season when they had that 1-1 draw there. And then prior to that, they had a 3-2 win at Parma. So yeah, Cagliari kind of turned their season around with a couple of good wins, good point at Juve. Opposite for Udinese, although they have played some good opponents. So this is going to be a really tricky game to call.
It is indeed a tricky game to call. We do actually have a winner, though. We're not calling a draw. We're calling Udinese to win. Odds of that you can get at 2.15, but probably a bit more realistic. The one that we like better is the both teams to score prediction. And the odds there are a bit less, 1.75. But that's what we kind of recommending if we're going to do anything on that one. Yeah, it's going to be tight. You get odds on Cagliari, by the way, at 3.4, and the odds of a draw are also 3.4. But for us, we're going for a correct score prediction of 2-1 to the home side, and you get odds of that of 9. In our poll, 78% of people, would you believe, almost everybody, pick Udinese, and no one picks Cagliari. Wow, that's surprising. Maybe not enough people have voted yet, but the rest, the other 22%, are going for a draw. But yeah, let's see what happens in that game. Next, we've got Torino, who are 9th at the moment, who take on the visiting Como, and they're in 14th. It kicks off on Friday, 7:45 in the UK evening, UK time, 25th of October. And do find your local kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels for this match on our website, footballpredictions.net. Click those links in the description, you'll see it. And of course, this one is broadcast by Bet365 on their live stream service, subscription free, and it's free to watch. And use our bonus code FP365 if you're not a member with them already. Interesting, some of those Torino scores in the last three, they've been very similar.
Very similar. In fact, you could say the last 4 games have all ended 3-2. Unfortunately for Torino, the last 3 matches has not ended in their favor. Their last win was at Verona back in September when they beat them 3-2 away from home. And then since that Coppa Italia defeat at home to Empoli, Torino's then gone on to lose their last 3 games in the Serie A against a few tricky opponents there, Lazio and Inter Milan. But they'll probably be a little bit disappointed because they actually started the season really well, picked up that point at AC Milan in the first game of the season, then beat Atalanta at home, and we're actually sitting top after that win at Verona. However, now they're all the way down to 9th. They're playing a Como team that's got promoted, the Cesc Fabregas team, who've actually done pretty well considering their size. And last time out for Como, they had a draw at home to Parma. However, the most recent away game at Napoli ended with a 3-1 defeat. We said 3-0 Napoli, but it ended 3-1 to Napoli in that game. So very close on the correct score there. Prior to that, Como did have a great win at Atalanta. They beat them 3-2. So yeah, overall decent start for Como. Torino on a bad run here. But something might change here. We think that Torino might be able to turn it around, and we'll probably have been focusing a little bit on that back line this week, considering the amount of goals they've been conceding of late.
Yeah, I think Torino, they've been on such a bad run. They need a win, and they're probably going to get. We think they're probably going to get it at home. Como, of course, drew recently, and they had a loss before. They had a couple of wins before those. But it's a difficult one to call. We're going to go for an under 2.5 goals game here. We think it will be close, a bit edgy, and 1.73 odds is what you can get for under 2.5 goals market. But we actually think Torino will win. Il Toro to win, 2.45 odds. So yeah, far from odds on favourites, but we hope and think that they might be able to get over the line just by the single goal. So we've gone for a 1-0 home win. And the correct score prediction for that is available on the odds market at 8 if you wanted a 1-0. Going to be tricky. 88% of people do think Torino will win on our poll, and the rest actually think a draw, and a 0-0 draw at that. So interesting voting this week, but that's what we have come to the decision of, because that's what we do. Anyway, next we have got Napoli, who are top of the table, who take on way down Lecce, who are 19th. This is on at 2:00 UK time on Saturday, the 26th of October. Of course, go to footballpredictions.net and you'll find in our clickable links in the description the local kickoff time, your local betting odds and broadcast streaming options. Bet365 is one of those. And live stream it there for nothing if you like watching football online, and for free. Use our bonus code FP365.
Yes, and what a season Napoli is having so far. Apart from the beginning of the season, of course, they started the season with a 3-0 defeat at Verona. However, ever since, they moved their way back right up to the top, sitting first, not disrupted by any European football this season because of the season they had last season. So they can just focus solely on the Serie A. And I would say that at Football Predictions, we can also focus solely on Napoli's results, because listen to the last 3 scorelines. Last weekend, they beat Empoli 1-0 away from home. A correct score prediction by us, because we said Napoli were going to beat them 1-0. We said they were going to beat Como 3-0. They beat them 3-1. And then prior to that, Monza, we said 2-0, and Napoli beat them 2-0. So yeah, we've been looking really solid on our Napoli predictions. The 1 point they then picked up was at Juventus, which was a great point. And then they had wins against Cagliari, Parma, and Bologna as well. So yeah, Napoli's been looking really good. However, Lecce, wow. one win all season. That was against Cagliari. They then had 2 draws right after against Torino and Parma. However, the last 3 games, they've not managed to score a goal. They lost 3-0 at AC Milan, and we said they were going to lose 3-0 at Inter Milan, another correct score that we had back in September. They lost 1-0 at Udinese, and hang on a minute, because last weekend they lost 6-0 at home to Fiorentina. And they now have to travel to Napoli, who are top of the league. And I think we all know what way this match is going to go.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a Napoli win, doesn't it? And we haven't gone for a straightforward, controlled away win. A home win, 2-0. And you get, that's our correct score prediction, 2-0. Odds of that currently are 6 or 5-1, so not massively high. But yeah, we actually prefer the under 2.5 goals market here. So I think it'll be we hope it's going to be 1 or 2-0 or something like that. And under 2.5 goals, you can get odds of 2.1 at the moment. But if you did just like a Napoli win, which a lot of people just prefer the win, the odds there of a Napoli win, 1.3. So you won't get a lot back for that. But if that's what you're into, then that's what you should look at. Next, we've got Bologna, who are 12th and take on AC Milan, who are 4th. This is on Saturday, 5 p.m. UK time. That's the 26th of October. Of course, to view your kickoff time, betting odds and broadcast streaming channels, visit footballpredictions.net. You'll see everything tailored to yourself. This one is outside of Italy, available to stream on Bet365. It won't cost you anything. It's a good place to get your streams from. We watch it, and you can use our bonus code FP365 if you are new to them. Now, we've got a bit of contrasting form here for these two sides, haven't we?
We really do. I don't know what, like, Bologna and Bologna fans must be thinking, oh, it's great to play Champions League, but the compromise with the Serie A this season has not been great. And also in the Champions League, Bologna is yet to score a goal. They've lost the last 2 games. They lost at Villa and Liverpool 2-0, and then they drew 0-0 at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. So they've not celebrated a goal in the Champions League yet, and they've only celebrated 1 win in the Serie A all season. That was at Monza. You could also turn it around and say Bologna's only lost 1 game. That was at Napoli 3-1, because the remaining 6 have all ended in draws. So Bologna are in for some tight games. Last time out was a 2-2 draw at Genoa, but the last 2 home games also ended in draws, 0-0 against Parma and 1-1 against Atalanta. Now AC Milan is looking a little bit better, sitting in 4th currently. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Compare that with the beginning of the season, where they didn't have a win, were conceding 2 goals a game. 2-2 against Torino, 2-1 loss at Parma, and 2-2 at Lazio. However, they tidied it up at the back, and they picked up some good wins of late. The most recent away game, though, was a defeat of Fiorentina. They lost that game 2-1. However, in the league, they did beat Udinese last weekend. They beat them 1-0, and we called that. We said AC Milan were going to win that game. And we also said that AC Milan was going to win in the Champions League midweek at home to Club Brugge. They beat them 3-1. So, yeah, overall, not a fantastic start by Bologna.
No, not a
in the league.
Start.
And sorry, also struggling to score goals, just 9 goals from 8 games.
Yeah, and ahead of this clash, AC Milan haven't been beaten by Bologna away from home in the last 18 league matches. So you can't really see that changing here. Also Bologna haven't won at home in their last 7 league matches, so their fans are getting a bit cheesed off, you might say. But yeah, we think it's going to continue on in the same vein. And we're going to go for an AC Milan win. Odds of that you can get at 2.1, which is pretty good, I think. We are tipping an under 2.5 goals game for this one. And you get odds on that of 2 at the moment. But yeah, for a correct score, we've just gone for the simple 1-0 away win. And you can get odds on that of 9 at the moment. That's 8-1. Yeah, so if you like that, then have a piece of it. But if you did want a Bologna win, by the way, 3.4 you can get. And even better, probably more realistic, a 3.5 for a draw. So maybe worth looking at the draw. But yeah, we think AC Milan should get this one. And so the 53% of you who voted on our poll on the site, and 20% think a Bologna might manage to get a home win, with the rest looking at a draw. Next up, our final featured match is Atalanta in 6th, who take on Hellas Verona, 13th in the table. This is on Saturday, 7:45 in the evening, on the 26th of October. Go to footballpredictions.net for your local kickoff time, betting odds and broadcast streaming options, one of which is Bet365. Watch it there. Use our bonus code FP365 if you are new to them. So in this game, we are looking at both teams to score prediction. We've actually gone for a home win, and the correct score prediction we have for this one is 2-1.
Yes, and then moving on to Parma in 17th, taking on Empoli in 11th. This match is a very early Sunday kickoff. It takes place Sunday, 27th of October at 11:30 UK time. This game you can also stream live and free on Bet365 with a funded account. And please use that bonus code FP365. Now for this game, we're going with a Parma win. Both teams to score, Parma win, and a correct score of 2-1.
Yeah, and then following that, we have Lazio, 7th position, taking on Genoa in 18th. This one kicks off on Sunday the 27th at 2 p.m. UK time. Again, you can stream this one live on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365. We're predicting a fairly comfortable Lazio win at home. We're going for both teams to score, though, and with the correct score prediction of 3-1 to Lazio.
Yeah, moving on to the bottom of the Serie A, we got Venezia bottom visiting Monza in 16th. This match also takes place Sunday, 27th of October, 2 o'clock UK time. It's another game you can watch live and free on Bet365 using the bonus code FP365. For this game, we believe that Monza will pile on more misery for Venezia. We're going for a narrow Monza win, under 2.5 goals, and a correct score of 1-0.
Yeah, and here's a cracker. Inter Milan, 2nd, taking on 3rd place Juventus on Sunday. This is the 5 p.m. UK time kickoff, 27th of October. Of course, stream it. I'll be watching this on Bet365 and use our bonus code FP365 if you are new to them. Yeah, what a game it promises to be. But, we think that Inter will grab the win here. We've gone for an under 2.5 goals game. We think it'll be nice and tight. Juventus have been in some fairly low-scoring affairs of late, as have Inter Milan in Champions League and in Serie A. So we're going for a correct score of 2-0 to Inter Milan.
Yes, and finally, and the last kickoff in the Serie A of the weekend is the late kickoff on Sunday. It's between Fiorentina in 5th and AS Roma in 10th. It takes place Sunday, 27th of October at 7:45 in the evening. It's another game you can live stream free on Bet365 using the bonus code FP365. Now, we're not going for a super entertaining game here. We've actually going with a board draw, a 0-0 draw, so under 2.5 goals, and a draw of 0-0.
A reminder that if you do plan to watch the matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18+, gambleaware.org, and make use of our bonus code FP365 if you're a new customer.
Yes, and in the description section of this podcast, you'll see the links to all the games we've just covered, or just go directly to the footballpredictions.net website. And why do that? Well, there you can browse all the online places to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, add tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as the latest offers and odds.
We record these football podcasts for other competitions in addition to Serie A. And if you want to hear them, go to podcast.footballpredictions.net, or of course Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, or even on everywhere you get your podcasts from. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening, and until the next time, it is
ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Football Predictions.